Hello, everybody, and welcome to your introduction to Pheedloop and Zoom for the Aviation, Noise, and Emissions Symposium. This is to just give you an overview of how the two different platforms work, how they will integrate. Many of you have already participated in small group sessions for training on this, but this is directed more at the people that were not able to join those sessions, or if you need a light refresher to remember a couple features on the platform so that you can have a smooth, successful symposium session day. So I'm going to start off with the sort of overview of each session. The way that the sessions will work is there will be an introduction to the session coming from the session chairs themselves. They'll just sort of give an overview of what's going to be covered in the session and who the speakers are. Then those session chairs will introduce the speaker one by one before their recorded presentation plays. The recorded presentation will play, the session chair will thank that speaker, then we'll move on to the next presentation. So it'll be an introduction of the session, introduction of speaker number one, recording of speaker number one, thanking of speaker number one, speaker number two introduction. Roll the way all the way through up to 4 speakers or so I think we have. Then at the end of the session of those recordings playing, the session presenters as well as the session chairs will all come on video just like this, and we will do a live Q&A. The Q&A feature, what's going to happen for the Q&A is questions are going to be posed from the audience via the attendee platform called Pheedloop and automatically come into the Q&A of Zoom. Session chairs are going to be the ones monitoring this Q&A. Session speakers shouldn't have to look at it that much. You would be welcome to look at it to sort of prepare yourself for the questions. However, the session chairs will be the ones to actually ask the questions live during that live Q&A portion. So we've got the introduction to the session, the video recordings that presenters have created that are going to play, then a live Q&A. Now, I'm going to go a little bit into your recordings, your presentation recordings for the presenters, for the speakers. These presentation recordings should be around 13 minutes up to 14 minutes. If you go over 14 minutes, I will be sending them back. This is your warning. Do not make a presentation above 14 minutes. One way that you can record is through PowerPoint's record presentation feature. In your information sheet as a speaker, I've put a link to how to use that feature. It gives you directions on a website and we'll walk you through the process. If you still need help beyond that, I'm happy to help you out. Just shoot me an email. Additionally, you can record through Zoom like I am right now. I'm recording a video. You can record your own presentation through Zoom. Finally, you can also contact me once again, and I can do a recording of you giving the presentation. When you do this recording, when you create your PowerPoint and record over it with the audio, you do not need a screenshot of you. You do not need the video happening. It will just be your PowerPoint and the audio. One of the nice things about the PowerPoint record presentation feature I want to mention is that if you do end up recording the whole thing and say you time it, it's 15 minutes long, you can go back, edit one slide that maybe you rambled a little bit too much on and re-record that slide so that it will shorten the overall length of your presentation. So that's a very nice feature that can make it easier for you to record the presentation. You don't have to go and re-record the whole thing over again. Additionally, I want to make a note that if you are using that feature, the PowerPoint record feature, Whenever you move to the next slide, be careful you are not speaking at the same time as when you click the next button. You can lose audio that way. So just a small note there. That is how you record the presentation. Once you've finished that, you convert it to an MP4 file and you email it directly to me. I'll watch everything, make sure that there aren't any audio issues or video issues. And then I'll be able to put it into our actual slides for your session. I believe that is all that I wanted to share with your recording. Please feel free to reach out if you have questions. Next, I would like to share with you about the platform Pheedloop. So as I mentioned, there are two platforms, Zoom, which you will be using when you are giving your presentation, or pardon me, when your recording of the presentation is playing and you're doing the Q&A. When it is your session, when you are the speaker, when you are the chair, you will be in Zoom. All other times, you will be in Pheedloop. When you're listening to a different session, you'll be in Pheedloop as an attendee, just like everybody else. Attendees will not need to be in Zoom to watch the recording. They'll see it all in Pheedloop. So let me demonstrate here. So here we are. This is the lobby of our virtual platform called Pheedloop. As you can see, it has the symposium name. Then to the right, you can see our social media feed. So as people are sharing information about the symposium on social media, it'll all show up here. So we're counting on you to give shout outs to your favorite speakers and about your session that might be coming up next. Next, on the right side here, you will see sort of a public lobby chat area. So this is the area where if you walk into a conference, there's a lobby, the registration desk, and then you see the double doors at the end of the hall that go into the actual conference space. This is that lobby. So anything you say here is said to everybody that is in that lobby. It is a public lobby chat. You can see we've sort of started chatting back and forth a little bit here. So feel free to introduce yourself and say hi to everybody else when you check this out in the lobby. Additionally, you can see who is online at that moment and who is in the lobby. So currently we can see Chris, myself, and Robbie are in the lobby. I can chat with them in the lobby here, or if I have a question for one of them directly, I can click on their name and send them a message. So let's say hi to Robbie. Hello, Robbie. This is a sample test message. And now I am chatting directly, privately with Robbie. He can chat back with me here. Additionally, if say we're having our morning coffee and I want to ask him a question about an upcoming presentation or a presentation he gave the other day, I can then click this join video call and we can have a one-on-one video chat. Again, you are in Pheedloop as an attendee at this point, so everything that is happening is going to stay in Pheedloop. This video call that I'm joining, that will stay in Pheedloop. It will not take me outside to Zoom or any other video conferencing software. It will stay in Pheedloop. So this is my private chats. I've said hello to several people. I can go back and join them on another video call or say hello once again. These private chats reside down here in the bottom left hand of my corner. Everything on the right hand side here, just remember that's always going to be public no matter what page you're on. This area on the bottom left, that's the private chats. So next, we're going to check out the sessions. This is a list of all the sessions that are happening at the symposium. So I can look at them, click on them, read when they are, see this sort of pre-roll video that is just sort of like a teaser, a placeholder for where the video will go live later. But if this is a session that I want to remember and have on my own calendar so I don't miss it or I don't book another meeting on top of it, I can add it to my calendar by clicking this button and downloading the appropriate calendar for myself. Additionally, I can of course tweet about it, share it to social media, email it to a colleague, however I want to share it, and share the fact that I'm part of it or I'm looking forward to hearing from the speakers in it. Then as we scroll, we can see the speakers that are listed here. I can learn more about each speaker and read their bios. I can even connect with them individually by going to their website or checking out their Twitter, whatever it might be. This is how I connect with them. Then we jump into the description of the session. These, of course, will be updated, but they will have their session description as well as their presentation description listed here. Then on the far right, once again, we have the public session chat. So this public chat will be seen by anybody that enters this session room. So it's as if you are at a conference center, you go into your session that you are excited to hear from the speakers for, and you start walking around and you see 3 other people, you start talking to them, you talk to several other people. Everybody will be able to have the opportunity to hear whatever you're saying. So you can say hello, ask a question, introduce yourself to anybody you'd like. As I mentioned, this column here on the left side is your schedule. You can add any of these sessions to your personal schedule by clicking the plus sign here. So I click the plus sign, that is now part of my schedule. And up here in the filter box, I can look at my personal schedule. So this is what is on my schedule and what I'd like to watch. If I want to see what the entire schedule has, then I just get rid of that filter and I come back and I can see all the other sessions that people are part of. Now, I'm going to give a quick demonstration of how a session will go live. So this is today's test session that I have created for people to sort of play around with and gain an understanding of how the technology works. So what happens is on the back end, I click one button and the session goes live. I then, once the session has concluded, we've finished with the live Q&A, I unclick that button and the session goes dark again. So here we go. I'm going to have this session go live and you will see it change in the Pheedloop application. This "thank you for joining us" will disappear. Here we go. So as you can see, it is starting to go live on Pheedloop itself. I am recording this for your benefit right now, but I can choose to join via computer audio or phone call. I'm not going to do any of those items so that there is no playback issues or feedback issues with the sound. So I'm just going to close that here. But you can see that what you are seeing in Zoom is actually happening live on Pheedloop right now. So anything that is happening in Zoom will be live on Pheedloop for the attendees. When you are a presenter, you are going to just be in Zoom. You're going to be talking back and forth with the other presenters during the Q&A, but you'll just be in Zoom. All the attendees will be in Pheedloop here, watching the session unfold in real time. I had mentioned prior that there is a Q&A feature. This is how the session presenters will be able to, this is how the attendees will be able to ask a question of the session presenter. They click this Q&A button and they can ask, what is the weather like in New York? They send that question And that question will show up on the presenters in the Zoom portion of the presenter's Zoom. So they'll be able to see the question pop up, and the session chairs will then be able to ask it live of the presenters. As an attendee, I can go back, see what the question was that I'd asked. I can also, if somebody types an answer, the answer that was typed in Zoom itself will go back seamlessly into Pheedloop for the attendee. So I answered, it is cold and rainy in New York. I don't know if it's actually cold and rainy. I'm just answering that for the demonstration here. But that is how the questions will go back and forth between the two. Then we have, again, the public session chat available to everybody. I was testing out this feature with Robbie earlier, so you can see that he tested, or he sent a test message back to me after I had sent an initial message. So now that you have seen how the system functions when we go live, I'm going to stop the live screen share, or pardon me, the live stream that is happening, so that when a session has completed, the Q&A has completed, I will stop it on the back end. As you see, the screen goes back to where it originally was for all the attendees on Pheedloop, but you and I, as presenters, can stay on Zoom and chat further if we need to. So this is the sessions, how they go live, how you interact with them. The final two pieces are the exhibit hall and the networking. I'm going to jump to the networking portion real quick. Here's where there is a list of all the attendees. You are welcome to look through the list, chat with people individually, start a chat that will go into the private chats area, and then of course, start a video call with them if you'd like to talk with them face to face. Currently, we only have the speakers listed, but the program committee, or pardon me, the speakers and the program committee, but the attendees will be added on February 9th. Additionally, we have this small group networking area. So the small group networking will be for follow-up questions to each of the sessions. Once a session completes, the session presenters will have their own small networking group that they can participate in. It will have the presenter's name and then networking discussion. So it may be Darlene Yapley's networking discussion, or Jennifer Landisman's networking discussion. So it'll be the name of the presenter and networking discussion. People will be able to join. There will only be 5 people allowed per small group discussion. People can join at any time and leave at any time. This is a video call. So you see the join video call. Everybody will be on video, and it will be hosted through Pheedloop. There will not be any, Zoom will not be part of this. You won't have to jump out to another application. You will stay in Pheedloop itself and participate in the networking discussion there. In addition to these follow-up discussions that happen after each session, there will be some ongoing opportunities for discussion for groups like community groups that want to perhaps have a another small meeting of community members that have a similar problem that they'd like to discuss how to interact with their local airports. We will have a list of small groups that can participate in those small group networking sessions. And those will be available at a later point as well. And then just a reminder, to the right, we have a group chat here. This group chat is open to anybody that is in that networking group, and it stays there. So if you want to chat on on text instead of on video, you're welcome to do that through the group chat to the right here. Now, finally, is the exhibit hall. We will have designated exhibit hall time where we ask that our participants check out all the different exhibit booths. They have not been added yet, but they will be. You will be able to see each exhibitor that is in our exhibit hall. You'll be able to check out their website, view their products, watch a video about their products, and then converse directly with their attendees and ask them direct questions if you have any. So I highly recommend coming through the exhibit hall and chatting directly with all of the exhibitors. I'm going to bring us back to the lobby here and let you know that is all we have for the Pheedloop versus Zoom integration. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I want to make sure that I can get all of your questions answered before the symposium so that you're comfortable with the two technologies and we can make sure it goes off without a hitch.